You need to take out time to learn product-based business, real entrepreneurship, selling real products. And this is actually a product that I helped one of the saints create. And you see me letting people know, like, it is hard work and it's consistent work, but it pays off, and I have all of the fruits to show that.
They're here to make $1. I'm here to make a difference. We're gonna get into it today. There will be many lessons. I hope you all have your notepad and take these lessons to heart. It's easy work. Yes, sir, you are speaking something called the facts. The facts.
How are you?
What's happening, brother Marquett? How you feeling?
I'm chilling. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man.
Oh, it got to be better than that. It got to be better.
Life doing its thing, man. So I'm hanging in there.
Okay. All right.
Life. Yeah. I just want to pick your brain on something. Like, I watch you, I pay attention. By the way, eloquent speaker. I love it, brother. Like, respectfully.
Thanks.
Like, I love wisdom. I love knowledge. I love trying to learn new words, use them, make them frequent vocabulary, stuff like that. So I find myself when I talk to people and try to gauge other people's perspectives on things and how they view or see the world or view society and things. It's select brothers like yourself amongst a couple of other brothers who kind of are in the same lane, but everybody has a different niche. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like so it's like an everlasting thing that's going to keep continuing to happen, where it's like it's certain people who listen to you and understand the mindset and the perspective that you're coming from and understand and get the game and get the gems.
Right.
And then there's just some people who I feel like are just going to be the sacrificial lambs of society who will just never get it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
They're destined to just be the 85%ers who are just going to be deaf, dumb, and blind, and they're not going to want any better for themselves until they really want it for themselves. Like, no matter how much game you give them, no matter how many gems you drop on them, they can try to apply it, but if they don't really want it for themselves, they're still going to fall to the same pitfalls that they fell into before. Because, I mean, how many celebrities do we know that are rich, famous, go all over the place, and then you catch them in the news doing some, for lack of better terms, some fuck shit, some simp shit, getting porno stars pregnant and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, some people, it doesn't matter how much money, how much success they get, how eloquent they try to act as far as their celebrity status, because they're in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? And they making music or they do movies and they do all these things. And then again, like I said, no matter how much money they have or how much access they get, they're still who they were when they was coming up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So not to say that, do you feel like some of your teachings or you do some of this in vain? Because some of the guys, you might have a repeat person who comes to you and they might say they going through the same problems 2 and 3 and 4 years down the line, when you look at them like, bro, I gave you the game, I gave you the gems, I gave you the tools to be successful. Why haven't you leveled up or progressed yet?
Right. Well, the good fortune for me is that I'm at a stage in my life where I'm more interested in making millionaires than making $1 million. So if I was in an earlier stage in my life, I'd be focused on making millions. Once I became very stable and in a position to have enough abundance to give back, then I was more concerned with making millionaires. And one thing that we all probably know as we mature, not we all, but many of us, is that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, which means that I'm sure you've listened to some songs many times, you got your headphones on, then you hear a line that you didn't even understand before. You heard the song like 10 times.
Yeah.
Heard the song 100 times. And then you like, oh, I understand what he was saying. I understand what that meant now. Sometimes your experience opens you up, and good information requires repeating, and human beings to change or to improve rather is one of the most difficult things. And it takes time and it takes practice. And what I know for sure is the people who tune in to me are usually higher IQ, number one. And then number two, they're seekers, whether it's of truth or of a new reality for themselves. And so I can't really fault the people who listen to me, because I rarely give you the BS. I rarely come on like, I'm gonna tell you how to get rich in 2 years. Like I don't lie to people, right? I tell you, hey, NFTs, that's a scam. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, you're not about to become a Bitcoin millionaire. You need to take out time to learn product-based business, real entrepreneurship, selling real products. And this is actually a product that I helped one of the saints create. And you see me letting people know, like, it is hard work and it's consistent work, but it pays off, and I have all of the fruits to show that. And even when they speak of Jesus, and I know there are many people who believe Jesus is a fictional character, but I'm just saying from a story standpoint, the story of Jesus, he didn't convert a multitude. He had 12 disciples. And I know that the people who are wise are the minority of mankind. And so anything that I speak of that is a little known truth or something that's high level, only a small number of people will understand it. So what I think will happen over time is this: the wise will follow me, the unwise will follow the crowd. So you'll have you'll have me giving good information. You'll have a small crowd of wise men and women who understand and follow faithfully. And then you'll have the uninformed, unintelligent that follow the crowd, this crowd of wise people that are moving. And that'll be how it goes. The masses almost never understand what's going on. They're just there.
Mhm. Even like your analogy to Jesus, I look at things like you might have people in your life who somebody might listen to you. You might give somebody the same game that I might have gave them, right?
Right.
And they won't listen to me, but they'll hear you out because you have the platform, right? But
Fair.
I listen to you, and it's like we have a commonality of where, oh, I understand what Marquett saying. So then when that person, I'm like, nah, yo, I got this game too because I already had it. Listening to you reconfirm what I already knew. And
Correct.
it's like, you don't listen to me. You might listen to Marquette because he's at a higher status than me, but you still not really taking heed to it. So it's just like God sends, or what I believe to be God, sends different messages in your life. And that's where I feel like the term Jesus wept came from. Because it's like all these other people are trying to tell you the same thing or implement the same thought or implement the same perspective to you and get you to really see the way. And some people just won't go. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Absolutely.
God sent all these people to give you a message, and God can't come down here and just be like, yo, my nigga, I'm trying to give you this message. Like the Lord is a mind basically, and He sends the messages through different people. So it's like if you're not taking the message from somebody like yourself who is more esteemed versus the person that's on your level that can really get to you and tap you on the shoulder, like, bro, you might want to handle it this way, and you still not listening. That's where I feel like the 85% come in and Jesus wept because I tried to give you the message through different people and you're still not listening. So you're going to have to go through these trials and tribulations until you really want better for yourself.
That's
And until
correct.
then, I can't do nothing. All I can do is cry. Jesus wept.
Yeah. I mean, at a level, it's challenging to be in a society with so many things going wrong. And you do want to help people, but those who don't want help, that's for them. And I focus on myself and my good life and the beautiful things going on. And I advise everyone to do that because we all have wonderful lives. Like we should be so grateful. Like if anyone is actually watching you and I right now, they have a great life. They have enough money to have a smartphone. They have
Exactly.
internet
Yeah.
connection, their data. They probably have a pretty good life. But I tell you this.
I feel like you about to say something prophetic. Take your time, brother. Take your time.
I often remind that the leader is on the bottom of the people. People often want to be a leader and they think that that puts you in the front or on top of the people or whomever you want to lead or teach, when in actuality it puts you on the bottom of them. And the best of leaders, you're often not teaching them, you're not telling them anything new. You're really just being a hearer, and you take the murmurs of the crowd and you interpret it and you form it into something that's useful. And you take everything they gave to you and then you show them a way based on where they want to go, which is to say that if there are those who don't want to go anywhere, they can't be led. And it's not even a good use of our time. And so one thing I talk about a lot, people almost never ask me about, is happiness. People ask me how to make $1 million. They don't ask me like, how can I be happy every day? They never ask me that. But the most important thing is to be happy every single day. And what people don't realize is when they're pursuing $1 million, when they're pursuing a beautiful woman, when they're pursuing financial freedom, all of these are proxies to get the feelings that you want. A feeling of being in control, a feeling of being desired, a feeling of being happy, a feeling of this or that. And people have trouble understanding the self. But for me, truth be told, I think you might be able to relate to this one, to your point. Even my own mother, who, mind you, over a lifetime has observed me be a very consistent individual since I was like 7 years old. And she saw me come out of real poverty and real challenge. And I was running a business that had offices in Korea and Puerto Rico, offices throughout the United States. As an entrepreneur, she was happy for me and she was proud of me, but never was she more impressed than when I got into the social media space, which is to say, me being a social media influencer had more currency with my mother than me being a CEO of a high growth tech company doing deals with the Chinese government, the Puerto Rican government, the Korean government, and having offices throughout the United States. And my mother, having observed me be extraordinarily consistent over a lifetime, you grow up in a ghetto, son of a drug dealer who's incarcerated for a decade plus for that, never used drugs, never drank a single drip of alcohol, even though I founded a fraternity and university. I was extraordinarily disciplined my entire life, but never did she want to follow my way or my recommendations more than when I became a social media influencer, which is to say that others were following. So she's not following my wisdom as much as she's following the crowd. So maybe you listen and you get it off rip. You're like, yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. Bro, talking that talk. But there's someone else that's only going to follow me because they're following you, or they're following the crowd, or they can't get it direct from me. It only makes sense when you explain to them what I said. And the same is true for all of us. So what I'm telling you is this. To my mother, for most of my life, I'm just her son. And no matter how successful I am, she wouldn't look at me with any particular wisdom until she saw how others looked at me, and then I became something else. Which is to say, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's them, sometimes it's your position. But regardless of all of that, the truth is the truth. And I'd want to be around those who can readily recognize and respect the truth, and not many can. And you'll be stressed and you'll be bothered as long as you're around too many people who don't love the truth. And so that's why I say, be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people, be good to good people, which also the underlying suggestion is that you should only be around good people. And you cannot be a good person unless you have a certain sufficient level of intelligence to understand the world. And with that, you would respect and abide by the truth.
Hey, that hit on a different level because like I said, you give advice to certain people, and it's the same advice they would get from somebody who's at your stature. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to listen to me. You'll listen to him because he has 43K followers or something like that, where I'm sitting at a measly 1,000 or something like that. So it's like he got to know what he's talking about because he got the numbers. But it's just funny. It's one of those things like, do you feel as if you can't get any street knowledge or any wisdom from a bum on the street? Like, you never know what somebody might say out their mouth when they open it. You know what I'm saying? You got to give somebody the opportunity to really see who they are. And in order to do that, you have to have the conversation with somebody to see where they at. And then if you can pick up something from it, cool. If not, then you know what to do with that. You know to dispose of that.
Absolutely. Tell me your name again.
My pseudonym is Arctic Freeze, but my you want to go with that? Yeah, Arctic Freeze.
Yeah, whatever you want to go with. What was it?
Arctic Freeze, like Antarctica.
Arctic Freeze. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
Marquett, I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. And I see you got those smart glasses on. I think that's going to be a very serious product moving forward. I actually went on I think they're on the French exchange and went and bought some of that stock for that particular company that owns that Ray-Ban Meta collaboration. So
Okay.
you're a smart guy. You're bleeding edge right now. I like to see it.
Yeah, it's necessary for the type of world we live in, whether you want to be safe or catch a good moment, if you will.
Indeed,
But
indeed.
necessary to be safe just in case some fuck shit go on and you need your evidence to prove your case. Because this can't lie. You can't lie on video.
Right. You can,
You
but that'll be a great help.
it'll be a hard push, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, Arctic Freeze is a pleasure meeting you. Peace of the Saints.
Likewise, VA stepping out.
Yes, sir.